Greetings, everyone. My name is Barbara Culberson. I am the Program Manager for Family Strengthening Families.
And I am Joey Ford, the Family Community Outreach Specialist for Family Strengthening Families. Hello, everyone.
And we just want to welcome you to our podcast today, Parent Talk at Discovery Center. We are so excited. We have another wonderful topic today, Joey.
Yes, we do.
And today we're going to be talking about the domains of vitality. You know, it's springtime. Well, we're coming into springtime. Spring in the air,
Yeah.
refreshing. Things are starting to bloom and blossom. And so it's the time of the year where we get all this renewed hope. You know, the winter has kind of been blah, blah, blah. And so now we're ready to kind of get back into the stream of things. And so today we wanted to kind of talk about what we call vitality cafes, because that is something that can help you in this area.
Yes.
Vitality cafes, and the word vitality, it has to do with the overall well-being of a person. You know, we are many parts. We have many little different aspects of ourselves. And so with the vitality domains, we find that basically there are 6. And so let me just list them, and then we're going to go and talk about each one of them in detail. That's good, Joey?
Sounds good to me.
All right, then. So there are 6 domains of vitality. Physical vitality, and that has to do with your overall health and well-being of your body, your physical body, the parts you can see, feel, touch, like that. Then we have the mental and emotional vitality domain. And that has to do with the health and well-being of your mind, how you're thinking, you know, what's going on with you for real. And then there's spiritual vitality, which is another part of you, aspect of you. And that's feeling completely alive and full of positive energy. That's what your spiritual vitality has to do with. Financial vitality, that has to do with you feeling secure in your capacity to meet your needs, the needs of your family in this material world, because you got to have some moolah, some money, Joey, in this world. Yes. You know, how secure do you feel in being able to meet the needs of your family? That's your financial vitality. Then we have environmental vitality, which has to do with your surroundings and how your surroundings influence your well-being. And then we'll talk about social vitality, which is the 6th domain, and that has to do with your support system and the joy that your family and friends can add to your life. So when we take a few minutes today on our podcast, just to kind of go into each one of these, because this is what we do when we have our vitality cafes that we host here and facilitate here at Discovery Center. So Joy, why don't you start with the very first one, physical vitality?
All right. Let's look at physical vitality here. Just as you said, it is the health and well-being of your body, focusing on that. So in this domain, it focuses on how you want your body to look and feel. Sometimes some of the questions that we may ask during Vitality Cafe would be, when it comes to physical activity, what current habits do you need to maintain? So there's a question to help us to think about some things that maybe we haven't thought of as far as habits and maintaining those when it comes to physical vitality. So in other words, we get to address our attitude. We get to address our habits regarding nutrition, exercise, and our sleep and mindfulness when looking at physical vitality.
Yay. Okay. So just think about that. If your overall physical self is good, in order to be able to take care of others, you have to have taken care of yourself.
So true.
Yes, Joey. Yeah, that's one of the things, and I'm guilty myself. We're always trying to look out for other people, our children, my nephews and nieces and stuff. But in order to be able to really fully help them, you got to be able to help yourself.
Right.
And that's what the Vitality Cafe is really all about, is addressing things that's going to help you be able to help others.
Right.
All right. So the next one is mental and emotional vitality. And that has to do again with your mind, your way of thinking, and doing things that will develop and enhance your mental capacity. Okay, so this would be something like when we would have a Vitality Cafe, we would be asking questions that would stimulate, bring out conversations like, for example, what is the difference between the person you were 5 years ago and who you are today? Now you got to think about that.
Definitely.
You know, and I think
Yeah.
in another way, like 10 years, you know, you could go on and on with it. 10 years ago, what were you like and what are you like now? Think about that. Have you improved on anything? What have you learned? What's the last thing you learned that was new? What kind of games do you play to stimulate your mind? You know, how do you feel about technology and how can that assist you in your learning? You know, what was the last time you learned something? You know, these are the kinds of questions that we use, that we kind of go to when we're dealing with your overall mental and emotional well-being. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Another one that we like to look at is spiritual vitality. And as said earlier, feeling completely alive and full of positive energy. A question that we may ask about that would be, how do you keep your energy positive? What are you doing? What are your choices of activities? What are you doing when you're with friends, and the things you engage in or choose to engage in to help you be positive and live a positive life? And some things we focus on is courage and kindness. Are we looking at those things when we're talking about spiritual vitality? And again, these questions here help you tune into what nurtures your spirits.
All right. So if we were to take a look at this other one, financial vitality, which, Joy, now if you are financially stressed, that's going to probably affect so many other areas. It's going to affect, and sometimes these domains of vitality do overlap, and they may cross over and affect the other areas. But when we look at financial vitality, and we see that that has to do with you feeling secure in this material world financially. You're being able to take care of your family. So in this domain, you know, we would be looking at, what are you teaching your children about finances? You know, because they're learning from you. What are your value systems? What do you value as it relates to money? Right. You know, how do you prioritize your money? Where are you spending your money? You know, they say you can tell a lot about a person by where they spend their money and their time. Those two things, you know, it's a great reflection of who you are. And you can take a look. You know, one time, Joy, I'm gonna tell myself again. I wasn't doing too good with my budget, and so I finally started looking at my budget. I was spending most of my money at this one particular restaurant because I loved they had these pork chops that were smothered in gravy, and so I love going there, and I would go at least once a week. And I started looking at my budget, and I said, I'm spending more money on this than, you know. Okay, so then I was able to step back and say, I can't do that, you know. But then I had to examine myself. And so it was affecting other areas of my life. I didn't have to go there every week. That was just something I wanted to do. Yeah. So when we look at that and we're taking a look at that, so some of the questions we would ask in our conversation time at the Vitality Cafe would be something like, what deserves the splurge? You know, because this is your value system. So what do you do that if you're gonna, you know, I'm gonna splurge, I'm just gonna go in and do this, which I was doing too much of. Okay. So that is something that we would take, you know, maybe you want to examine. What did you learn about money growing up? You know, what are you teaching your children now about money?
Definitely something to think about. Another one that we look at in the Vitality Cafe is social vitality. Social vitality is about our support system and the joy that friends and family can add to your life. And here, a question that we can ask or do ask is, how is laughter part of your positive relationships? How is laughter part of your positive relationships? So you get to look at how your relationships interact with one another, or how you interact with each other within those relationships, and you get these questions here bring out more ideas about how you address the nurturing of your friendships, as well as how improving your social life adds to your vitality. So again, how is laughter part of your positive relationships? Just give you a chance to think about your relationships with yourself as well as others.
Joy, that's a good one. Because, you know, they just say laughter is good like medicine. So, like, you know, you could be feeling kind of down a little bit, something like that, and you could just start laughing.
That's true.
Yeah, and so, and it'll just help lift your spirits. Yeah. So, that's a good one. And our last domain that we want to talk about today is environmental. And so that has to do with your surroundings, you know, and I guess that kind of is in keeping with this spring. Sometimes we get ready. I know when I was growing up, we had what we call spring cleaning. Yeah, I don't know if they still do that anymore, but we, you know, my great grandparents, spring cleaning. We all knew we were getting ready to have to do it. And then we just took a whole weekend. That's what we did. Everybody was involved in it.
Yeah.
And so this has to do with, you know, making where your living space, where you live and where you are, and the things that where you're going to physically be, that is decluttered, that is clean, is organized, you know, all the stresses in your environment, just kind of, you know, get rid of all that stuff that doesn't need to be. What does your environment look like? I remember when I was deciding where I was wanted to go to college, Joy. And I went around several different universities, and I got to this one in this camp. The campus was so clean, and I said, I can learn here. And that's where I ended up going to college at. And it was one of the factors. It wasn't the only factor, but it was one of the ones that I felt I could be in an environment that was clean and that was safe. Yeah. And so when we look at that, you know, some of the questions that we may want to ask when we're ourselves at a Vitality Cafe, if we were dealing with that domain, would be, if you could live anywhere, where would you live and why? Just ask yourself that question today. You know, if you could, where would that be and why? What makes home feel like home? You know, because home is supposed to have this unique feeling about it. You know, there's no place, you know, you ought to want to go home. You ought to want to be at home. You know, when you've had a long day, if I could just get home. Now, so what are you doing with your home environment to make it look wanting to be there? You know, making someone feel like they want to be there. Let's see. And then, you know, it can also, you know, we have a lot of things going on. I want to say bad weather types events, hot climate type events occurring in the world. So you might want to, if you're one of those people that want to contribute to the overall well-being of the planet, you could talk about we could talk about some of those things in this, because it's like, what are you committed to recycling or reusing? What do you just throw away and why? You know, if you want to be a conscientious person, these are things that have to do with our overall well-being. And again, they are so interconnected. Where do you go for peace? If you just needed to have a place that you could think about, that when I'm gonna go there, and that's where I'm going to relax. Some people like going to the park. Some people ride through the countryside. You know, just whatever. And so these are just some of the things that we discuss when we have our Vitality Cafes, and we do it in a group setting. Everything is confidential, and we just open up and people just start sharing and we kind of get to the place where we are examining me, myself, I say, and I.
Yes.
And what can I do about me and my overall well-being so that I can be able to help others? So, Joy, would you like to kind of just share when we offer these Vitality Cafes here at Discovery Center?
Yes. In listening to Miss Barbara and what she said, I can't help but think of the word, hear the two words you said earlier, connect and pause. Pause to give thought to something is what two things that does happen during these cafes.
Yeah.
And if you would like to participate or experience this Vitality Cafe to connect more with yourself as well as others within our community, we invite you to our Family Vitality Cafes every fourth Friday here at the Discovery Center at 1504 Louisville Street, Starkville, Mississippi, 12 o'clock p.m. noon. You're welcome to come and share in our Vitality Cafe with us. We look forward to having you.
Yeah, so yeah, we are exactly, Joy. So we're just this is we've been doing it for a little while now, but it's kind of new to our area, Vitality Cafes. They are similar to the parent cafes that we've already been doing for a number of years. It is a product that is part of the Be Strong Families product line. And we provide all of this for free.
Yes.
We help you to get back in touch with yourself for free and have a good time doing it. Joy, don't we have a blast?
We have a great time.
And yeah, we have a great
unforgettable, memorable.
Yeah, and people just enjoy it, and they, you know, because the whole focus is to help us to be renewed, to be refreshed, revitalized, and to examine some of the things that we have been doing or not doing, and maybe consider some of the things that we need to start doing or stop doing.
Exactly.
Yeah, and that's the whole thing of that. And so we welcome you again, as Joy said, to join us. And if you have any questions, you can give us a call here at 662-615-0033. Until next time, have a good one. Bye-bye.
Bye.